Want to speak real Swedish from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at SwedishPod101.com.
10 questions that you should know. So 10 basic questions that are very handy for maybe a friendly conversation, a first-time conversation or something similar. So let's get started. Vad heter du? What's your name? And the sample answer could be Jag heter Hanna. Jag heter Hanna. My name is Hannah. Very useful and easy and always good to ask for someone's name, and also allows you to maybe learn some Swedish names. We say them a bit differently, even though some of them are similar sounding to other languages. Hur mår du? How are you? Jag mår bra. Jag mår bra. I'm fine. There we had the question and the answer to this. It's a very good starter, and maybe if you know someone, you'll get more than the I'm fine, but for a nice and polite start of a conversation, it's also a sign of interest to ask someone how they are. I think that's similar to most languages. Var kommer du ifrån? Where are you from? Jag kommer från Kina. Jag kommer från Kina. I'm from China. Not that I am, but in my case, I would of course use Sweden, and maybe for you it's another country. So, but if you travel, I know that you meet a lot of people from different places, and then knowing how to ask them where they're from is a good conversation starter. And also interesting to find out. Maybe you can ask more questions about where they're from. Var lärde du dig svenska? Where did you learn Swedish? Jag lärde mig svenska på SwedishPod101.com. Jag lärde mig svenska på SwedishPod101.com. I learned Swedish at SwedishPod101.com. Maybe you already guessed this. Var bor du? Where do you live? Jag bor i Stockholm. Jag bor i Stockholm. I live in Stockholm. Remember to add the place that you live in and not use Stockholm if you're not in Stockholm. But Stockholm is a very beautiful place, so maybe it's a good idea to move there. It's fun to find out more about where people are from and to hear about their country, I believe. And when you travel in Sweden, also not everybody is from Sweden or from Stockholm. Var jobbar du? Where do you work? Ja, jag jobbar på ICA. Jag jobbar på ICA. I work at ICA. And for you who don't know, ICA is a big grocery store in Sweden. There are others, but this is a very common one. So if you look for a grocery store, you can ask for ICA. Vad har du för telefonnummer? What's your phone number? And to this, you could reply, det är, and then all the numbers. But I think we're going to get to the numbers in another lesson. Det är, meaning it is. And remember the country code if this is someone who's not from your country, if you get their phone number. Vad kostar det? How much is it? Det är, it is. Or here's another one you can also use. Det kostar, it costs. Good to know. Maybe after sightseeing, what you do is you go shopping for some things, and we don't haggle in Sweden, so you don't have to do the haggling. You just have to ask for the price and you'll get the response to what you're probably going to pay. Gillar du svensk mat? Do you like Swedish food? So here we have both two different answers. Ja, det gör jag, meaning yes I do. Or nej, det gör jag inte, meaning no I don't. And to be real honest, the Swedish cuisine is not my favorite. I prefer Asian food, for example, over Swedish food, but we have a few really good ones. And if you're not in Sweden, maybe you have an IKEA, the furniture store somewhere around, and you can try the Swedish meatballs. They're a traditional dish, and kids really like them. But that's a first good start to trying Swedish food. Har du varit i Sverige? Have you been to Sweden? Ja, det har jag. Meaning, yes, I have. Nej, det har jag inte. Meaning, no, I haven't. And if you haven't been to Sweden, I hope you will go. But please go during the summer unless you are into skiing or snowboarding, because summer in Sweden is just magical. We have daylight until very late, like almost depending on where you go. But if you go very far north, the sun is not even gonna set. And in the south, we have very long days. So that's a huge recommendation for you who haven't been to Sweden yet. So let's get started with the words. Hey, hello. Very basic, simple. You say hey. It works for everybody, whoever you meet. You say hey, and they will probably respond with another hey back to you. God morgon. Good morning. Bit more formal, nice and polite for the mornings. Means the same as in English, means good morning. God eftermiddag. Good afternoon. Same, polite and nice, but of course used in the afternoon. And again, it's the same meaning as in English. It means good afternoon. God eftermiddag. Good afternoon. God natt. Good night. Most of the time it's used for when you're going to sleep. So when you wish someone a nice night, good night's sleep, this is what you say. Vad heter du? What's your name? Very easy. We're not that formal in Sweden, so and again it's the same meaning word by word. It means what's your name? You ask what someone is called. Jag heter Hanna. I'm Hannah. Meaning is just my name is Hannah, and I do of course recommend you to not say Hannah but use your own name instead. It might get a bit weird if you just copy my name. Unless your name is Hannah, of course. Trevligt att träffas. Nice to meet you. Same meaning as in English again. Always you can use this when you meet someone, like when you introduce yourself. But you can also use it when you say goodbye and you want to tell them that it was nice getting to know them, nice meeting them. First time or every time. So there's no wrong time for using this one when you want to tell someone that it was nice seeing them. Hur mår du? How are you? Nice and easy short phrase. Sometimes in Sweden we do respond like, oh, it's all good, even though it's not. And sometimes if you know someone closer, they probably give you a more thorough explanation, tell them a bit more about what's going on in their life. So this can either be just a polite phrase or when you sincerely mean to, find out more about what's going on in someone's life. Jag mår bra tack. Och du? I'm fine thanks. And you? Yeah, so maybe this is the polite version of the answer if everything is good, or if everything is good. So this is just the most common way to respond if someone asks you like, what's going on? It's all good. I don't want to go too deep into whatever is going on in your life, but it's nice and polite. And of course it ends with asking someone back how they are. Snälla. Please. In Swedish, we use this word snälla. It's the meaning of snäll is nice, kind. And sometimes we use the word for thanks instead, like in the end of the sentence, like, can you pass me the salt, please? We say tack, thanks, instead of this word. But you can swap them. You can use either of the two, and it's still going to be a nice way of asking someone to maybe help you or answer a question or something. Tack, thank you. Here we go with this word. Tack, thank you, or thanks. I would say that it's more like thanks. It's the short, nice, not very formal way of just saying thanks. I think maybe this is the most useful word in any language, don't you think? Like, every time if someone helps you with the door or something, you can thank them. And that's one of the first things, for me at least, that I want to learn how to say in the language. Thank people for helping me. Varsågod. You're welcome. Maybe you help someone sometimes and they say thank you for helping them, holding a door or something. I guess in almost every country it's like the norm that you, maybe if someone is carrying a lot of stuff or someone elderly walks by, you hold the door for them. And in Sweden, if they say thank you, you reply with this phrase for you're welcome. So, varsågod. You're welcome. Ja. Yes. It's just yes, when you want to say, you can add the yes please, ja tack. But it's just yes, easy. Nej, no. Also, nej, short and easy, is just the word to say no. You can add the politer version, say no thanks, then you just say nej tack. So this is actually fun. You can combine the words in this lesson a lot to create more polite sentences. Okay. Okay. So this one you kind of already knew if you know the English version. And I've heard that okay is one of the most common words in the world these days. It's used in a lot of languages, almost the same pronunciation, almost the same spelling as well. So, okay. That one always works. Ursäkta mig. Excuse me. For when you want to maybe walk by someone is standing in your way, like maybe accidentally blocking a door or something, you just want to politely ask them if you can step by or if they could move to the side, then you use this one. Also, if you want to get attention, you use this, excuse me, to get some attention. Maybe in a restaurant or something like that. Förlåt. Sorry. Maybe almost as useful as knowing how to say thanks. You can say this, I'm sorry. And this is maybe more on an emotional level than the phrase for excuse me. It's a bit similar to English there too, I think, that you use. This is more like serious, maybe deeper level. Maybe you hurt someone, or it doesn't have to be like that super emotional, but maybe you accidentally hurt someone. Then you say sorry. Vad är klockan? What time is it? So in Sweden we don't use the AM PM, but we use the 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we say 13, 14, 15 hours for the afternoon time. And so that's also a good thing to remember when asking about time, that maybe someone will tell you, oh, it's 14, then they actually mean 2 p.m. So that's a good fact to have when you ask for the time, so that you understand what they tell you. Var är toaletten? Where is the restroom? Good one to know, you all. I guess you've sometimes been somewhere and you really needed a restroom. I think that's like part of being human. And then asking for it in the right language can actually be crucial not to have an accident. So actually, as you might have heard when I said it, it's quite similar to the word toilet. So toilet. So you can probably use toilet and get around, but it's always good to know how to ask for this. Vänta ett ögonblick. Wait a moment. Maybe in a restaurant or in a store, if you order something or buy something, they just need to, fix something before they can help you. Then this is what they will tell you, to just wait a moment. And hopefully it's just a moment and not longer. Hur mycket kostar det här? How much is this? So except for getting food, maybe the next thing you need to solve when you're traveling is to buy some things, do some shopping. And then, of course, in Sweden we don't haggle, so when you ask for the price, you'll get what you're expected to pay. There are a few exceptions to this, like a few markets where you can haggle and discuss the price, but most places it's just fixed. So when you ask for it, you'll get the answer you need. Kan jag få notan, tack? Could I get the check, please? This is for asking to pay. In a restaurant, you can just raise your hand and ask for the check and you'll be able to pay. Kan jag få notan, tack? Could I get the check, please? Hjälp. Help. I hope you don't have to use this one anytime at all, because it might mean that you're in a tricky situation. But if you do end up in one, it's of course useful to be able to scream for help. Quite similar to the English one, hjälp. So just hjälp, and hopefully someone will run over and help you with whatever it is that you're getting yourself into. Actually, Swedes can be a bit, maybe they won't approach you if you look like you don't need help. So if you like pretend that you're okay. So it's actually good to ask for it if you need it. Vi ses senare. See you later. This is, it can either mean that you will see each other later, but you can also just use it to be nice, like, you know, hope to see you later, but you just say see you later as if you will actually see them, but it's kind of a nice way of saying that you hope to see them later. So, vi ses senare. Or, as you would usually say, actually in Swedish you would say vi ses sen. Sen, instead of senare. So that's a shorter version. A bit more of slang, but you can maybe start with the correct one. Hej då. Goodbye. Short and easy, a version of the hey that we used to say hello. You add a little part in the end, and you can use this for anyone. It's also like, doesn't matter if they are older or younger or anything like that. Use the same word.
Want to speak real Swedish from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at SwedishPod101.com.
Today we're going to talk about 4 techniques to help you stop translating in your head and instead start thinking in your target language. This will allow you to have conversations with ease, read smoothly, and better understand native speakers. These are 4 methods to help you think in a new language. Number 1, surround yourself with your target language. This way, you'll be completely immersed in the language. Without realizing it, you'll learn pronunciation, sentence structures, grammar, and new vocabulary. Play music in the background while you're cooking, or have a radio station on while you study. Just use one of our endless podcasts available to you. These are easy to listen to in the background while doing other things. Number 2, learn through observation. This is how we all learned our native languages as kids. Words will develop their own meanings that relate better to your target language, rather than meanings that are translated directly. Number 3, speak out loud to yourself. Even if you're a little embarrassed, it forces you to listen to how you speak. It makes it much easier to spot simple grammar mistakes. Number 4, practice daily. If you practice everything for only one day, you won't retain the information you learned. The brain can realistically only focus for about 30 minutes. So studying a little every day allows you to absorb better.
In this lesson, we learn some of the most common greetings used in Sweden. Är ni redo? Are you ready? Så låt oss börja. So let's start. The most commonly used informal greeting is hej. Hej. Hej means hi. We use it when we meet people. We can use this greeting with anyone. Yet, it isn't the only way to greet someone. We also have hallå, hallå, which means hello, and more time-specific greetings like god dag, god dag. Literally, god dag means good day. As a rule of thumb, we can use god dag only during the daytime, from morning until evening. During the evening, we say god kväll, god kväll. Kväll is Swedish for evening, so god kväll means good evening. Finally, in the morning, we say god morgon, god morgon. This means good morning. However, instead of god dag and god kväll, it's much more common to just use hej. God morgon, on the other hand, is still the most common phrase to use in the morning. When saying goodbye, we say hej då, hej då. When partying for a long time, we often add ha det bra, ha det bra, which means be well. Finally, in Swedish, we have an expression meaning see you soon that can be considered both formal and informal. Vi ses. Vi ses. Now you can greet people in many different ways in Swedish. Let's review them all again. When meeting friends or someone we don't know, hej. There also is hallå. In the morning, god morgon. During the day, god dag. And in the evening, god kväll. When leaving, we say hej då. When leaving but want to imply see you soon, vi ses. To which we sometimes add ha det bra or be well. It's easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Elin's insights. In formal situations, Swedish people commonly greet each other by shaking hands. However, if we meet someone we are very friendly with, we hug. Swedish people are generally shy and might not take the initiative to hug, but don't be afraid to do it. It's always appreciated.
Want to finally learn Swedish the fast, fun, and easy way? In this video, I'll show you the top 10 ways to get started. So let's begin. Number 1. Take your very first lesson. Access any audio or video lesson on SwedishPod101.com and just press the play button to get started. Don't have an account? Don't worry. Just go to the sign up page to create an account. It takes less than 30 seconds and it's free. We have thousands of audio and video lessons covering a variety of topics like grammar, pronunciation, listening, and reading. Just click on the play button on any lesson and start learning. Number 2. Read along with the lesson. You can read along with the lesson notes or lesson transcript. These come with every lesson. The lesson notes provide you with the dialogue for the scene taught in the lesson, along with translations, a more in-depth explanation of the grammar and culture, and even vocab and sample sentences. The lesson transcript is the full word-for-word transcript of everything you hear in the lesson. And the dialogue study tool provides you with the audio for the lesson dialogue, along with the translations. Number 3. Shadowing. Shadowing is a tested learning technique where you repeat what you hear. This is a great way to start speaking in minutes and practice speaking in general. If you're listening along with the lesson audio or dialogue, be sure to shadow along the way. Number 4. Use the dialogue study tool to master the conversation. Here, you get the line-by-line breakdown of the conversation demonstrated in the lesson. Listen and repeat until you've mastered each line. Do this until you've mastered the entire conversation. Number 5. Use the voice recorder to perfect your pronunciation and speaking. In the dialogue study tool, you'll find a microphone icon next to each line. Click on it to record your voice. Then, compare it with the native speakers. Listen and adjust your pronunciation until you match that of the native speaker. Number 6. Review vocab with the lesson vocabulary list. Vocabulary words are the building blocks of language. You can save vocab words taught in each lesson by clicking on Add to Word Bank. Want to drill the words with smart flashcards instead? Just click on Add to Flashcard Deck to do so. Number 7. Listen to the review track. If you've studied an audio lesson before, just listen to the review track so that you don't have to listen through the entire lesson again. This is a great way to reinforce the material that you've learned, and it's great to have on the go. Just access any audio lesson and click on the download icon. Then click Review to download the review track. Number 8. Review with quizzes after the lesson. Once you're confident enough with the material taught in the lesson, be sure to take the quiz to test your newfound knowledge. Take the review questions and answer true or false for each one. Or take the writing questions and input your answer. Remember to check the answers by clicking on the Check Answers button. Number 9. Participate and leave a comment. The best way to master what you've learned is to use it. Join the community of learners by leaving a comment below at the end of every lesson. Our dedicated teachers will check your responses to correct you on any mistakes or provide you with helpful study tips and advice. And finally, number 10, move on to the next lesson. Done with a lesson? Mark the lesson as complete. You can see your overall learning progress on your dashboard. If you particularly enjoyed the lesson, mark the lesson as favorite so that you can come back to it later at any time. Click on the forward arrow to move on to the next lesson and continue learning.
Want to finally start speaking in your target language? In this guide, you'll discover the top 7 ways to practice speaking on your own with our lessons. Let's begin. Number 1, shadowing. Shadowing is a proven learning technique where all you do is repeat what you hear in order to practice speaking. So access any audio or video lesson on the site and press the play button to start. Then, as you listen or watch, just repeat the conversations. Or, even easier, read along out loud with the dialogue section. The script is right there in front of you. With our lessons, you can master entire conversations, just like that. Number 2, read out loud. I just mentioned it, but reading out loud is another powerful tactic and deserves its own mention. With every lesson, you get written transcripts and translations. So, as you play the lesson, read the dialogue out loud as you hear it. Why? By reading out loud, you're also practicing your speaking skills. You can do this with the lesson notes, the lesson transcript, or the dialogue tool. With the dialogue tool, you can listen to each line again and again, and repeat out loud until you master them all. Number 3, speed up your reading to speed up your speaking. Being able to speak without thinking is a sign of language mastery. If you're talking to a native and can respond quickly, they'll assume that you're fairly fluent. How can you do this? When you read out loud, try increasing your speed a little bit every time. So, start by reading with the dialogue tool. If you're like most learners, you'll read the first line slowly. That's because you're still getting used to the words, which is okay. Reread it. On your second try, you know most of the words, and you'll read a little faster. Reread it again. On your third try, you'll be even faster, at a native speaker's speed. And being able to read these phrases out loud and fast will help you speak fast. Number 4, record and compare yourself with native speakers. In order to sound like a native speaker, you must imitate native speakers. So here's how. Access the voice recorder, which is in the Dialogue Study tool in every lesson. Click on the microphone icon. Listen to the native speaker's audio, and then record yourself. You can then compare the 2 recordings side by side, and practice and try again and again until you perfect your pronunciation. Number 5, get feedback from our Premium Plus teacher. If you're learning by yourself and don't have access to real teachers, then you can always get feedback from our Premium Plus teachers. With the My Teacher tool, you can record yourself speaking and send the audio file to the teacher. They'll review it and tell you what to improve and how. That's it. Number 6, level up your speaking with Premium Plus assignments. With Premium Plus, you can also get assignments that cover reading, writing, listening, and even speaking from your teacher. These assignments can be tailored to your goals and needs. You get a new one every week, or anytime you're ready for a new one. Number 7, get even more lessons in the lesson library. If you want even more lessons on speaking and conversations, visit our lesson library and under Category, choose Conversation. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons that are focused on speaking. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share it with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way, and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. I'll see you next time. Bye!